with Clarion County Commissioner Greg Fowler in the EYT media offices. Greg's running for re-election in Tuesday's election. Greg, first of all, thank you for joining us.
Yes, good morning, Chris. Pleasure to be here, and thank Explore Clarion for letting us do this interview.
Yeah, we're pretty excited about being able to do these with the candidates this year. If you're re-elected, what would be your #1 priority as in your second term as commissioner?
My #1 priority, I've been out to communities. I think in our community we need to move ahead, be proactive with some of the blighted properties that communities have, and it's going to take a few years to develop that program. But there are properties that have issues with buildings, and so my one priority would be help communities, work with them, and be concerned with cleaning up blighted properties.
What would be some of the ideas with that? Would it be bringing in businesses, new type of housing? What would be some of the things you'd look to do in something like that?
Well, it was done by the state a few years ago. There was an act where you can do land banking, and land banking would have to be set up. It's a community of 10,000 or more population, which Clarion really doesn't qualify. So it'd be done countywide, and then once that is adopted, there's information and a process that the properties would go through to be reclaimed and put back on the market, and values would increase and neighbors' properties would increase at that time.
What role do you see a county commissioner being able to play in terms of community development?
Well, in community development, we need to be proactive in working. Again, one of the areas that we fail is a little bit of the infrastructure. So as a commissioner, we have to be a lead to work actively in promoting and developing those infrastructures and getting out and promoting businesses that come to this area for economic development. But our communities have to be solid too. So solid communities will support development.
And that sort of leads into the next big question, which is economic development and what you think needs to be done to attract more businesses to Clarion.
Oh, we definitely need to promote to attract more business to Clarion, and Clarion has great assets, and we need to work together to promote those assets. And I'm a big proponent of tourism, and tourism will bring industry, and behind agriculture, which Clarion is a great agriculture community. So I think with agriculture and tourism, we can bring industry to this area that we can support, and our families and our communities can work together to make a better community to live in.
One of the hot button issues right now seems to be the 911 center. Where do you see that, and obviously as commissioner you've been very close to what's going on with all that. How do you see that coming, and why do you think that it's going in the direction that it's going to right now?
Well, the 911 center, Chris, is something that we definitely need. It's an end of stage life as far as equipment. The location in the old jail just doesn't work. Now, whether the location would be better in a leased building, rented, or whether a new location, I mean, those things need to be, before we go any further and spend some money, we need to make sure that that is the right decision. If it's a good decision today, next week, in 2 weeks, a month, it's still the right decision to have a new facility to house. It's our public safety, it's our fire, ambulance, police. So it is vital that we make sure we make the right decision and go the right direction.
It seems like there's been a lot of money spent on potential plans, whether it was the new courthouse annex, whether it's the 911 center, and yet we're not seeing a whole lot being built at this point in time. How do you look at it from, as a taxpayer, I look at it and I'm like, wow, we're spending a lot of money and we haven't gotten anywhere. And I know that's a concern of a lot of people. How do you answer that concern being an incumbent commissioner?
Well, as an incumbent commissioner, it's easy to look back and say, yes, we did make some mistakes. You always have to go and try to look at all the avenues to move forward. Some of those we did spend money. We should have and could have, looking back, had a committee to decide all the criteria that's needed, and then come to the best criteria that fits the 911 center, the courthouse needs, just county buildings in general. If we would have had that and a criteria set, we possibly could have and would have not been spinning our wheels and spending the money we did, especially like with the annex, spending the money to get to a final stage, to realize that, you know, the architect had told us we could be within 8 million, it was going to be 10. And so, you know, we backed up, we went with the 911 center. I just think we needed to not move as fast with that. We need to look at the criteria of where the 911 center will be today, if it's at Payne Township or maybe Trinity Point. Look at the criteria, make sure that we're making the right decisions, and then we can move forward.
That being said, what do you think the next Board of Commissioners needs to do to make sure that the same type of mistakes aren't made in terms of all of the planning money that was spent moving forward?
Well, I think we need to sit down at a roundtable discussion, get the criteria of what we need as a county for buildings and structure and offices, get groups of people, maybe 2 from the county sector, 2 from the judicial, 2 from the public sector, and everyone sit down, come up with a list, just like you would do if you do a regular RFP for anything you're going to make a major purchase. You get 3 bids back, you look it over, you first go through and decide what you need, and that's what I think we failed originally. We know we all need better office spaces or ADA compliant. We know we need a 911 center. We know we need to move offices around, but how do we do that? How do you fit all those pieces of the puzzle together? And I think a group of people could bring that information together, determine what the best uses are, and then move forward as a group, as a county, as a community to make the best results. So.
Well, Greg, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. Good luck in the election.
Thank you very much.